We are coming up to the 1 week mark after Vel Sartha has joined the game, and it's time for us to ask that age-old question when it comes to Galaxy of Heroes. What is the current trajectory of the game? Is things going down? Are things staying equal? Or are we on the uprise? We did a similar video at the start of the last era around Stormtrooper Luke and IG-90 to see how the trends change. Are people still whaling? Are people still going for that 7-star unlock? We did it earlier as well when we were looking at, what's her face? Claire Marquis, the Marquis of Claire Marquis. So today we are going to take a look at Vel Sartha, ladies and gentlemen. Are people decreasing their amount of whaling? Is it staying the same? Let's go take a look. Welcome back, Holotable Heroes, to another Galaxy of Heroes video with me, your bald boy scribe. Today, Vel Sartha over here. I'm nearly coming up to that point where I will get her to 7 stars. We did this through the rather painful experience of getting ourselves a Surge Pack. You're going to get that once, that Surge Pack. I did not get good pulls. You can see it in the video, top left corner. Me and Nooch did a bit of a... We pulled off to get together. Does that make sense? That makes sense. That makes sense. But hey, it's coming up to that 1 week mark, and I thought, you know what? This new approach that we're seeing for this era system is a little bit weird and funky. For example, now that they've readjusted the summoned units to scale off your highest level character, I'm just not putting levels into Vel right now. Like, it's actually better for me to just go all in on Claire, and I just get better performance. So I'm just going all in on Claire, truth be told, trying to max out the amount of points that I can get on her, level her up, and just dominate as far as I can at the very least. As soon as I can't go any further with her, I'll start throwing some stuff on Vel, alright? That's how it's going to be for now. Anyway, I thought we would take a look at the Swigger.gg numbers to see where we're at. Let's go take a look. So just a quick reminder, ladies and gentlemen, before we begin. Last week, or well, it was about 2 weeks ago now, we took a look at Claire Marquis' numbers. How were they shaping up? We had 387,310 units of Claire Marquis when we looked at this data. So that gives us a baseline, essentially. And I think we had about 440,000 for Stormtrooper Luke. So Stormtrooper Luke was up, you know, a good 20%, 15, 20% or so on the numbers that we were showing for Claire Marquis. Let's go ahead and move over to Swigger.gg and check out Vel's numbers and see where we're at. Okay, so if we go into Swigger.gg and we filter by all, you can see that it's actually 423,495 Vel Sartha characters active at the moment. Now, this is just people that have logged in and they have got the character active. It's not necessarily an indication of whaling. This is just an indication of how many active accounts are playing right now. So we've seen a little bit of an uptick, and obviously a day or two swinging around here today can change these things, right? So this is still positive. This is still healthy. This is still indicating we have about 400,000 people playing the game on a regular basis. Not necessarily daily, but on a regular basis. If we then go ahead and take a look at the 7-star threshold over here, how many people have got 7 stars? And let's keep this in mind, ladies and gentlemen, that people will be in the same boat that I'm in, where they're waiting for the last day of the Marquis to earn those final shards for Vel and then push them over the line to get that 7-star. So currently we're looking at, what, 0.37% of everybody's account. You know, 1,600 essentially 7-star Vels, with another 4,000 more or less, another percentile more or less, that are waiting in the wings. Potentially they might not all go to 7 stars. In fact, I'd be surprised if all of those 6 stars went to 7 stars, but you never know. So maybe by the end of the week we might see 1.5% if we're lucky at the 7-star range, right? And then right down at the bottom, if we're looking at the big boy whales over here, how many people have got high error levels? We actually have 0.2% that have pushed through all the way to error level 80, which is very, very high. Very, very high indeed. 624 people, or, you know, people that have got them at relics. Almost all of them have gone all the way, not a little bit. But that is a difference of a couple of error levels. Usually, if you're going all the way, you're probably going to go to the top end, not just sort of hang around at 75 or something like that, right? These are actually really positive numbers. Let's see what it looked like then, just last week or 2 weeks ago, when we were looking at Claire. So we can actually see over here 2,705 people had them at the 7 stars for Claire. This was an extra day with an extra 4,400 in reserve. That's obviously quite a bit higher than what we currently have for Claire Marquee. Now, again, the numbers are going to shift in the next day or two to try and up those numbers overall, but obviously a little bit healthier for Claire. People might have gotten more luck, people might have been more invested in whaling, all that sort of good business. If we chuck down then in the Gear 13 distribution, 0.13% have actually gone overweight all the way to relics, 500 units. If you check it over here for Vel, once again, we're actually up on that. 813 units here for Vel, so there's obviously an increase in the number of people investing in era levels by the looks of things, with basically an extra 750, nearly 744 in total that are in relic levels. And you can see what we had for Vel was essentially about 500 people had taken the era level high enough to put them into relics. So when you do actually cross-reference this, we're actually up. We are actually up. More people seem to be investing in era levels. Now, we do have less in terms of the actual number of 7-star units. Yes, that is absolutely true. That might get, displaced a little bit when we see more people feed through. So overall, people are caring less about investing in the stars so much, and they are more pushing towards era levels. And this actually makes a heck of a lot of sense, right? Because if we think about the era leveling structure and how we go ahead and push towards the journey guide unit, right? So in this case, Cassian Andor, last era, we did, of course, have Maul hate fueled. We didn't know enough in the last era about what this is going to mean. When Maul Hate Fuel dropped, we saw we were getting 5 Lightspeed tokens that can take you to Relic 6, but that's only if you get the 5-star unlock. The 7-star unlock was prohibitively expensive because just whaling on the stars alone wasn't enough. You had to then drop an extra 100 to 200 bucks, getting all of your era level units up to 85 in order to actually get the full unlock, which many people, myself included, were completely turned off by. You can see, look towards people like Arnold stopping whaling fully. Look to people like Xaereth stopping whaling because it's just not worth it. However, people are seeing that going to that 5-star threshold is absolutely worth it because the amount you have to invest in order to get the 5-star unlock is so much less. It's like half the cost to go for a 5-star unlock. You still get those Lightspeed tokens, you still actually unlock the journey guide unit, and you just throw that resources instead into era leveling, which gives you better performance in Colosseum and gets you the leveling faster as well. So it makes sense to me that people are doing it this way, pushing higher in the era levels early, whilst just worrying about getting to maybe 5-star. If they happen to push over, get some lucky pulls on the marquee packs that you can see, which of course I didn't get very good luck with, but these sort of things, the 1300 crystal packs or the surge pack, maybe they happen to get lucky and get higher, but they're not necessarily throwing hard cash at these guys with the intention of getting a full 7-star unlock. They're quite happy, by the looks of things, to just invest in era levels to get better Colosseum performance so that they can then go ahead and grab themselves additional rewards. Oh, I'm clicking the wrong buttons over here. Rewards over here to get the era currency so they can then convert the era currency either into coaxial servo motors for more Relic 10s or Erodium Lightspeed tokens to start getting yourself additional Relic leveled characters. These Erodium Lightspeed tokens get you Relic 5. Sure, it's not 7 stars, it's just 6 stars, but getting all the way to Relic 5, that's 90% of the battle done for so many Journey Guide units. It makes sense to me that people are trying to focus on this, particularly if they're early or mid-game accounts. This can absolutely accelerate your ability to get things like Starkiller and Aphra, anything that you want. Even working on a bunch of your Galactic Legends, these tokens really help. So I'm not surprised that we're seeing this shift in focus. I am happy that people are still spending, even if it is not necessarily like the structure that I would like to see this game go down. I don't particularly like the era leveling system. I don't really particularly like Colosseum, but I still enjoy the game as a whole. I just like doing GAC and getting new teams to play with. I wish Colosseum was a more fun, engaging game mode, but there's always hope for the future. Right now, it seems like Galaxy of Heroes is pretty healthy. In terms of income. I'm hoping, like I said in my previous video, that this influx of players that we're going to see around May with May the 4th coming, Mando and Grogu coming, and I guarantee you we are getting a new series of Events Next Era that's going to be focused around the Mandalorian and Grogu film, probably a new GL for Mando and Grogu, probably also signposting towards a new raid. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I've spoken enough at your faces, now your turn. Speak to me, baby. What do you think about the current trends? Do you think I'm on the money here, where people are only caring about the 5-star unlock, using error levels to get better Coliseum performance so they can get lightspeed tokens to enhance their accounts? Or am I just reading too much into the tea leaves? Let me know. Answers on a postcard, baby. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe if you're... Alexa, stop. That was very rude. Subscribe if you're not already. I'll see you all in the very next video. Peace out, and may the Force be with you.